That is another podcast. Will Walker podcast. Thank you for taking time to watch this podcast. Download it also quicker and you're watching it. Listening to it rather. Today's podcast 2 4. Swag. AF every day. All day, every day. This is that month that they give us to celebrate my people's history. It's a month really. I'm grateful for every day, but the title Black History Month full crap. Black History is 365 as far as I'm concerned. So that's the way I see it. I ain't gonna spend much time sitting here ranting and raving about that. Not at all. I'm gonna talk about sports. I'm gonna get into the Super Bowl matchup going on between Kansas City and San Francisco, a rematch from the 2020 season. So let's see what happens when they play in Vegas next week. We won't do a podcast next week so these cats can enjoy the Super Bowl. It's not something I care to watch. My team isn't in it, so I'm not watching it. And that's been my rule for a lot of years. But I will attend your Super Bowl party and eat your food. And then I will leave like I usually do. But anyway, it is what it is. As I'm trying to get myself adjusted here. All right, it is what it is. I wanted my Miami Dolphins to be there against the San Francisco 49ers. That was my prediction before the season started. The Dolphins are not there. At least I got half of it right. But anyway, Dolphins aren't there again. Dolphins do Dolphin things. They collapse at the end of the season, and that's what happened again this season. So it is what it is. They're not there. Kansas City being there is a shocker. I really thought the Ravens would be able to take it and get there this season with Lamar and the way they were playing down the stretch, but give Kansas City's defense a lot of credit, being able to keep Lamar under control, keep him in the pocket, not letting him be able to make big plays outside the pocket. So give them credit. Their defense was one of the top defenses all season, and they proved to be legit again as they were able to stop, I think, the guy that's going to be voted the MVP. So, and then in the other game, Dan Campbell, he's been doing that all year. You know what I'm saying? So the fans of Detroit shouldn't be too upset because this cat's been gambling all year. He left some points on the board that gave the 49ers opportunity, to make that comeback and win that ball game. So it is. I want to talk about that Brock Purdy situation and, him making the Super Bowl, last cat picked in the draft and everything. And now he's leading a team to the Super Bowl. Listen, that's a talented San Francisco roster. I'm not going to say any quarterback could quarterback that team to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to disrespect the cat like that. But at the same time, it does help that Brock Purdy's playing with McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle, and then a very good left tackle in Trent Williams. So it helps that offense has some very explosive players and some very solid players, some all-star players on that offense and their defense. Although they gave up a lot of points last week, and they have been kind of struggling down the stretch since that Baltimore game, they're in the Super Bowl. So that's the matchup. It's the 49ers going up against Kansas City. So, and then there's going to be the Taylor Swift controversy. I ain't getting into that. I can care less if the girl's there. I really don't care. I get tired of seeing them cut away to her all the time, every time something happens in the course of the game. But they say she's a huge star. I'm not a fan of her music. I'm not a fan of popular music nowadays anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? But I know who she is. I see the dog on commercials. But at the same time, man, look, I just want to watch a football game. I don't really care. I don't care if she's there or actor, politician, whoever. I just want to watch a football game. But hey, it's entertainment also. So it's not just for Will. It's for everybody to watch. So before these cats get here, I'll give my prediction, what I think is going to happen. I think San Francisco gets the revenge. They're 1.5 point favorites in this game. 1.5 points. That's nothing. That's really a pick 'em, to be quite honest with you. It's not. I don't really see that much. That's probably the daylight between these two teams is 1.5 points. It's really not that much. So I'm going to find out next week. Again, will not watch. Don't care. Again, 1.5 point favorites for Kansas City. Before these cats get here, and now that I got that Super Bowl is out the way, I just had to do it because the NFL is king. NBA All-Star Game. The All-Star starters have been announced. All right, so Bam Adebayo, my interest because I'm a Miami Heat fan. Bam Adebayo made the roster his third time. Tyrese Maxey made the roster. Jalen Bronson made the roster. I think Julius Randle made the roster. I think a couple of, a lot of first timers are on it. Not Bam, but I'm talking about Bronson and Tyrese Maxey, making it for the Eastern side. And of course, you got your Giannis that's going to be there. Dame's going to be there. So the NBA All-Star game. Matter of fact, let's divert real quick by All-Star games because I was just watching the Pro Bowl as I'm getting ready for the Miami Heat to play against the Clippers. That's the game that's coming on ESPN while I'm recording this podcast or, doing this podcast right now. I didn't know they went to a 7-on-7 format in the Pro Bowl. I didn't know that. Am I interested? Not really. Not really. I don't care for exhibition games. That's just me. But that looked exciting. I don't know why 55,000 people would want to go watch a 7-on-7 matchup, even though these are the best football players in the world. Just still 7-on-7 matchup. That's what, and they put flags on them. But anyway, pretty interesting concept, NFL. I mean, it made it exciting. Got the touchdowns, and just like the regular season, and some of the playoff games, there's no defense being played. So that's what the fans want to see. They want to see touchdowns. They want to see scoring. So now you don't, you take away the risk of injury, by the collisions or collisions and contacts or tackling and everything like that, and just put flags on these cats. They got flags on the quarterbacks during the regular season anyway, so ain't much difference today. But anyway, that's a pretty interesting concept, and I understand it's been going on for 2 years, and this was the first time I actually saw it. So I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me, but it's better than watching them not tackle or whatever the situation they've been doing in previous Pro Bowls and everything. They should move that thing back out to Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? That'll be interesting. But back to the NBA's All-Star game, which is a little bit more exciting. We get a lot of lobs in the first 3 quarters, a lot of 3-pointers, and with Steph and Dame, they seem to shoot it from see which one can top who from the half court mark shooting the 3-pointer. So that's been exciting. And matter of fact, I agree with what's that cat's name? Reggie Miller. They should make the 3-point contest the highlight. It should be the last event on Saturday night. The dunk contest is whack. You don't know who these cats is. That young dude, and then last year some G League cat came up and won, nice dunks and stuff like that. But you don't know who he is. This ain't the days of Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, Spud Webb, and the first cat that did it was Dr. J, and Dr. J going against Larry Nance back in the early days and stuff like that. And true to form, Walter Strong is here and to aggravate the heck out of me with this New York Knicks mess. But anyway, I don't know why. Walter, I have no love for the Knicks. Yeah, they got a nice squad. Yeah, okay, and that's all I can say. They got a nice squad. But I'm not talking about the regular season right now. I'm on the All-Star game and the All-Star weekend, but I do think the 3-point contest should be the last event that happens on Saturday night. The dunk contest, like I said, is a good showcase for the young cats, get them a big stage and everything, but still, it's just no household name. So it's kind of whack to me. It is. But anyway, but a 3-point contest, if you get Steph, matter of fact, I think Steph is going up against Sabrina Ionescu from the New York Liberty in a shooting contest or a 3-point contest. I don't know what it is, but that would be interesting because she can shoot. She can shoot that pill. She can shoot it. So it's going to be interesting to see her go up against arguably the greatest shooter in the history of the game in Stephen Curry. That would be a very interesting matchup on NBA Saturday night. So I think they should add something else to it, though. Maybe do like that big 3 thing that Ice Cube has and do a 3-on-3 tournament or something like that. Not with the old cats. I don't want to see retirees play, and I don't want to see cats out the league play. Let it be, you know what I'm saying, a 3-on-3. It don't have to be guys from the same team. They don't have to be from the same conference. Do the old school. Do it like we do it in the park. Pick cats and just play 3-on-3. You know what I'm saying? 4 teams. Those who want to participate. You know what I'm saying? Throw some money in it because that seems to motivate these dudes like it does everybody else. So do a 3-on-3 style. That'd be interesting, for NBA All-Star Saturday night. That skills competition thing, they can miss me with that. I really don't care about that. But yeah, make it interesting. You know what I'm saying? Do a 3-on-3. get a couple of cats to go into it. You know what I'm saying? And go by ones and no threes. Now, you can shoot them, but they only count as 1 point. That's it. So maybe that, you know what I'm saying, give us a little bit of excitement 3-on-3. I think that'll be interesting. That's just an idea from me. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that's just one of the ideas I think would be cool for them to do. Let's see what else. Juju Watkins. Oh my stars. Oh, USC beat Stanford Friday night. USC scored 67 points. She scored 51 of them. I don't recall watching a game like that, not on the collegiate level. I can't recall it. Not since the shot clock, anyway, to where somebody scores that many points of their team. She scored 51 of her team's 67 points. I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights, saw, you know what I'm saying, that she had a 50-point game, and so it was 51. She got buckets. She's a bucket. She is a bucket. She can play. She got game. The WNBA's got to be just ecstatic with the young talent that's on the collegiate level in the women's game. We'll see. We will see if she could win Player of the Year. Because to me, although Caitlin Clark is good, she's got game. She's a very good player. She can score. She's coming up on that all-time NCAA record. I think in the women's game, she's chasing Kelsey Plum. But Juju Watkins, good. She's got game. She's got game. And basketball for the women's game has come a long ways. It's a little bit more exciting. They still don't dunk. You know, although the young lady from South Carolina became the ninth young lady to dunk in the women's game, and the first one in South Carolina's history. I can't think of her name right now, but she dunked at the end of the first half of the ball game. Speaking of South Carolina, the Dawn Stallions got a powerhouse down there. They got an opportunity to win another national title, even though they lost to Leah Boston. They got a pretty good squad, man. They're deep, and this year it won't be no backing off them girls because she went and got herself some shooters. Those girls can shoot. She's got some girls that can shoot, but back to Juju Watkins, man. When I saw those highlights, I was like, good grief, good. And then before this podcast, before I started on the podcast, USC is playing a game. She had 23 points in the first half of that game, so she's clearly all USC. She's clearly all USC has, and she's a very talented scorer. So I'm very impressed. I can't say I've never seen nothing like this before because I remember Cheryl Miller. I remember Cheryl Swoops back in the day when she was at Texas Tech and they made a remarkable run and beat Ohio State in the national championship. So I remember Cheryl Swoops. Of course, what Candace Parker did at Tennessee. So there's been some young ladies that has been very good ball players. And this young lady seems to be falling into that line. And then, of course, Maya Moore. I mean, to me, Maya Moore was just unbelievable. She was just unreal. You know what I'm saying? Out of all them ladies I just mentioned, I think Maya Moore could have played in the NBA. I'm serious. I think she could have played in the NBA. I don't know if she, you know what I'm saying, would have been a major contributor. You know what I'm saying? But I think she had the game to play. She was phenomenal when she did play at the collegiate level and then also with the Minnesota Lynx. But yeah, Juju Watkins. Yeah, and she looks tall. I think she's about 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there. So usually in the women's game, when they're that big, they're low post players. They don't have much. They're down low guys. They're down low players. They're not wing players. And that girl, man, she can take you off the dribble. She pulls up. She sidesteps. I mean, she can shoot the three. She can drive. She's nice. She really is. And again, from the highlights I saw of that game against Stanford, I was impressed. Really impressed with what I saw. But back to the All-Star game. As let me go over to the Western Conference side. Of course, LeBron, AD, they're going to be playing in the All-Star game. Also, I can't think of really any first timers on that side. I should have probably did my homework and look it up. But as you can tell, listen, the All-Star game is what it is. It is what it is. It used to be exciting back in the day. It just was. It was exciting because they played ball. They balled. You know what I'm saying? And then you got you You see a backcourt of Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson. You see a front court of Larry Bird, Dr. J, and I guess Robert Parrish or Patrick Ewing when he was coming up in the early '80s or mid '80s. And then on the Western Conference side, a backcourt of Magic Johnson and George Gervin. These are Hall of Fame names I'm mentioning. You know what I'm saying? With Kareem and then James Worthy on one wing, Clyde Drexler probably, you know what I'm saying, on in the backcourt. So it was, and Mark Aguirre when he was with the Dallas Mavericks. So the All-Star game was exciting. It was something, you know what I'm saying, to be exciting to watch. They competed. It was something to watch the best in the world play, you know, a pickup style game for a little while. Then it gets serious towards the end. I mean, these cats do it too, but the names are just those names just don't ring like Aguirre and Johnson and Thomas and Jordan and Bird and Irving and Parrish and Jabbar, and you know what I'm saying. It just doesn't ring the same to me, you know. And B is nice. He's a good player, of course. Jokic is nice. And speaking of that position that I'm talking about, as I was watching something on YouTube, and Udonis Haslam, that's what it was, his podcast, and he was naming his top 5 centers. He put Bam in there. I'm gonna take Bam out the situation because I'm not gonna go with centers. I'm gonna go with the top 5 bigs because there's really only 2 centers in this league. Honestly, Bam's a 4. He's not a 5. But anyway, the top bigs in this league for me, it's got to be Embiid. It's got to be Jokic because I mean he's a triple double. Of course, Giannis. All 3 of those cats I just mentioned are MVP cats. AD when he wants to play, but still, AD is to me more of an offensive. He has more offensive skill than Bam, and then Karl Anthony Towns. Those are the 5 best cats in the game in the middle for me. I can't speak for nobody else, but the bigs, you know what I'm saying? Those 5 cats. And Bam's nice. And he's having a very good season. Matter of fact, as the game between the Heat and the Clippers are just starting, the Clippers have won, I think, 8 out of 10 ball games. They're a team that's going to be something to deal with in the Western Conference, but maybe they'll advance this year. Maybe they'll make it to the finals. Maybe they won't. I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting clash between the Clippers and the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? If both teams stay healthy, that's the main thing with the Clippers. They got to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, I think they'll get that opportunity to possibly. I'm not really confident about it, but I think I don't know if they'll win because I haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi did what he did when he was in Toronto, so he proved he can win a championship. But let's be real. If if Clay is healthy and KD is healthy, that's a 4-1. That's a 4-1 series. The Warriors, they pushed Toronto aside, but because of injuries, and injuries are a part of the game, so that's how Kawhi and the Toronto Raptors and Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka and a young Pascal Siakam, they was able to get their first championship for Toronto. But it is what it is. But I'm serious. If that Warriors team was healthy, they'd have won that series to me 4-1. It wouldn't have even been close. But hey, injuries happen and they weren't there. So it is what it is. But I don't know if Kawhi, Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, Zubac in the middle, the man's kid from Florida State playing out there with them. So they got a nice squad. They got a nice squad, and with Ty Lue on the bench, they got a really nice squad. They seem to be getting it together. Of course, James Harden made a huge difference because he may not be the James Harden that was that MVP, but he can still distribute that ball. Now, the defensive end is where he was really bad. I mean, he just is really bad on the defensive side of the ball. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? As far as at the NBA level. And I don't know. I don't know if that's going to change just because he switched conferences. You know what I'm saying? So, but they got some dogs out there, and then they're going to battle with Denver, and then of course Phoenix with Booker and KD and Bradley Beal. Nice guy, nice squad. They got a little bit. They made some trades that added some depth, so they'll be there. The Lakers are done unless they make a move. It's bad that LeBron's still the best player on that team, and AD hadn't taken that next step. I don't know what that's about. You know what I'm saying? He's still. Sometimes he's there. Sometimes he just. Speaking of the New York Knicks, they beat the Knicks yesterday. I don't care. I mean, I don't want the Knicks to win anything, but I'm not a Lakers fan, so I'm not gonna jump up and down about the Lakers beating the Knicks. But uh, yeah, but anyway, the Lakers won. The Lakers beat the Knicks. So, but they're not going to be a factor. I don't know what Minnesota and OKC can do. I don't know if they're going to be able to hang in there and prove that they're legit. I mean, I know Carl Anthony Towns is good. That kid Anthony Edwards, whew, that kid is athletic, man. That kid is athletic, and he's starting to develop that jump shot to where it goes in on a consistent basis. So now you can't guard him, because you can't back off, because he'll drill a three on you, and if you get too close, he still has that amazing first step with that athletic ability to just hammer on you. So that's going to be tough. And then you mix in Carl Anthony Towns' offensive skill set. So can Minnesota keep it up and, you know what I'm saying, make a deep playoff run? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. And OKC with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, then the surprise to me is Chet Holmgren, because I didn't think he was going to do anything in the NBA, to be quite honest with you. But man, that kid, he alters shots. He alters a lot of shots. That, I think he's 7'6" or 7'4" or something, 7'3" or whatever it is. But that kid alters a lot of shots. I saw the game when they played against the Heat, man, and he gave Bam fits. He gave Bam a lot of problems down there with that length. So, and he knows what his job is, and he can stick that occasional three. I think he's shooting like low 30s. I mean, which not bad for a big. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who's making his first start. Speaking of that cat, making his first start as an All-Star. That cat will look good. You know, there was time when it was said that cat will look good on a contender, but look what he's doing. The team is his team. They built a solid foundation, and he's the leader. And yeah, so Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, nice player, and he was thrown in. I think he was thrown in that trade deal when from the Clippers to when they got who was it? Paul George. When Paul George was leaving that summer when him and Kawhi teamed up. So, but Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has proven to be a legit All-Star, All-NBA type player. But anyway, OKC in Minnesota, I don't know. Maybe they'll be able to do something. I don't know what the Dallas Mavericks are going to do with Kyrie and Luka. They're going to shoot, play no defense. I mean, that's just their MO and what they got. So that's what it is on that Western Conference side. And then on the Eastern Conference side, look, it's Boston, Milwaukee, Philly with a healthy Embiid. If Embiid isn't healthy, as he has not been the last couple of ball games, and they've been losing, that's what it is. And he should be the MVP. I think that cat's averaging like 30, 35 points a game this season. I mean, Embiid's been balling, man. He's been doing it. So we're going to see if he could. Him and Tyrese Maxey, I mean, I think Maxey's getting 25 a game or something like that. And that hence why he's making an All-Star appearance. And can he and Maxey do better than what him and James Harden did? You know, I don't know. Now my Miami Heat. Oh boy. My Miami Heat. And they're playing right now. This is what they did last season. This is exactly what they did last year. 500 team during the regular season, and then they got on this magical run in the playoffs after they lost the first play-in game. Then they went on this run, and they made the NBA Finals, and then got just got a gentleman's sweep by the Denver Nuggets. They traded for Terry Rozier. Where I'm lost with the Miami Heat is Bam is 6'7", 6'8". He plays the big spot for Miami. When the Heat play against these teams like Denver, Philly, Giannis, AD, Karl Anthony Towns, and Gobert on the same team, they lack size. Bam is a hard worker. He initiates Miami's offense. I always said this for the last couple of seasons. Until he's the best player on the Miami Heat team, they're not winning anything. You know what I'm saying? They won't win an NBA title. That's just my opinion. I know Jimmy Butler's most important player because he's the closer, But Bam Adebayo on most nights has a mismatch with his speed and quickness. Size, not so much, but his speed and quickness. The Heat got traded Kyle Lowry for Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier was averaging 20-something plus points a game with Charlotte. Still no size. Still no size. All the Heat guys are about the same daggone height. Hero, Martin, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Jimmy Butler, Josh Richardson, Hayward Highsmith. All these guys about the same height. The guys that have the height, the Kevin Love's too old, too slow. But he's a good position player, so he knows the game. So that's why Spo plays him a lot. Miami's Jovic, the young kid, and Niko Jovic, not ready yet, still too young, don't understand defensive rotation. And he's ups and down, and he's up and down. He had a good stretch, about 5 or 6 games, and then boom, he fell off the table. Orlando Robinson, he's good for the G League. And Mark Bryant, yeah. So the Heat really don't have a big they can play alongside Bam to combat some of the size that they have to deal with when they play against the Jokic and the Embiids and the Giannis and AD and Karl Anthony Towns. Those kind of cats, they don't have anything because Bam is 6'8" at best. He's 6'8" at best, and the Heat make a trade for Terry Rozier. That will never happen, Walton. The Heat's not going to trade for Big Cat. The Heat don't have anything to offer. They don't have anything to offer Minnesota. That's why the Heat fell out. That's why the deal fell out last season, last summer with Dame Lillard, because the Heat have nothing to offer. And what teams going to want is Bam Adebayo. And plus, Big Cat and Jimmy don't get along from their time in Minnesota. So I don't think that deal would be possible. I don't think it would happen. I'll be surprised if it does because nothing's impossible. But I'll be surprised if it does. The Heat love Bam, man. They love Bam, and Bam is a great anchor. The Heat hang their head on defense. Cat's a scorer, not so much a defensive guy. And he's not. I don't see him hedging out on them pick and rolls, and being able to switch like Bam. See, Bam can switch on anybody. That's why they love him. You know what I'm saying? He can switch onto anyone. He's one of the best in the game at doing that. So that's why that's why Spo and Pat Riley love him, because that's what this game is now. Everything is switch. And, and he's able to, keep guards in front of him on most occasions, not all, but most occasions. And I don't see Big Cat be able to do any of that. And plus, the Heat just don't have anything to offer. Me personally, when I heard what Kendrick Perkins said about trading Jimmy Butler, I agreed with him. I think they should. And I think Jimmy Butler should request a trade. Now it's come out and said that Jimmy doesn't want to go. Of course, he wants to run his own team, and he's made the NBA Finals. 2 of the 4 seasons he's been in Miami as the lead dog, and he wants to win. He wants to win a championship as the lead dog. But if he just wants to win a championship and give himself the best opportunity, he'll be screaming up and down and jumping up and down and knocking Pat Riley. I mean, bugging Pat Riley to trade him to Philly and let him pair with Tyrese and Joel Embiid. That's just what I would see if Jimmy Butler was to request a trade, because that's he's played with Joel Embiid, so it's a perfect pairing. And Jimmy's unselfish. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make sure to get Joel Embiid the ball in the right spots. And Joel Embiid knows that he doesn't have to do it all by himself. He's got another dog. He's got another closer. There's even been some that say Jimmy's a better 2 than 1. I disagree. He's led that team to 3 to 4 years he's been in Miami. They've gone to the Eastern Conference Finals. 2 to 4 years they've gone to the NBA Finals, although it wasn't a bubble, but still, they did go to the finals. So Jimmy has a right to believe, as a lead dog, I can get it done. I just need a little bit more help. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said that he should have got some size. If it's possible. If it's possible. I know They don't have the flexibility to trade for anybody. So, with as far as number ones and really nobody really wants Tyler Hero. Nobody really wants Tyler Hero. You know what I'm saying? Um, everybody wants Bam. Everybody wants Bam. They don't want Tyler Hero. So, but yeah, the Heat are what they were last year. Um, they made a late run after losing the play-in game to Atlanta. So we can see maybe. I don't think they can do it again. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm a Miami Heat diehard. I love the Heat. I don't see the Heat doing that again, man. I just don't. I can't see the Heat making that type of run again. I mean, it was a good run last season, but they got to get better. They really got to get better. Right now, they're in the 7th spot behind. I think it's Cleveland or Jersey or one of those teams. They're in that 7th spot, so they're in that playing spot. And if they can get to 6 right now, New York is sitting at 3. And here you go, Walter, with the New York Knicks, Miami Heat playoff matchup again. Last season, Miami beat them 4-2. I think Miami beat them again in a playoff matchup. I don't care. I like OG Anunoby. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great defensive player. But I'm not sold on Julius Randle as a playoff performer. He hadn't showed it to me yet. And this year may be different, but he hadn't showed it to me yet. And then when I look at the other dude, Jalen Brunson, nice player. Nice player. He's playing the one position. He's made his all-star team, made the all-star team, and I can't knock his game, but I haven't seen it to where I can say that the Knicks are shoe-in to make a deep playoff run. And if they face Miami in the first round, sure. I'm pretty sure Miami wouldn't cry over that matchup either, Walter. I don't think Miami would cry over that matchup, not one bit. Given, that, okay, they got 2 cats that really haven't proven it. Yeah, have nice regular seasons, and they did pick up a guy that can give Jimmy problems because OG Anunoby is a very good wing defender. Much better than Josh Hart playing against Jimmy Butler or RJ Barrett playing against Jimmy Butler. OG Anunoby, he's a dog. He is a dog, and that would be an interesting matchup. But I still say the Heat win. I don't care the Knicks have home court. I say the Heat will beat them. I think they would beat them in 7 games. So that's my take on that. And will the Heat make a move at the trade deadline? I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. I just don't think they have. They just don't have they don't have anything to offer besides Tyler Hero. They got the matchup got to happen first, Walter. If the matchup happens, I got you. If the matchup happens in the first round between the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks, I got you. So we shall see if that happens. All right, that's my take. That's my take. That's my time. I really appreciate everyone that takes time to watch the show here on Facebook and also now on YouTube. And please follow me on my podcast. On my page, on my podcast. So I thank you guys so much for giving me your time. Listen to my opinion about sports. And that's my time. Thank you so much. Say a prayer for somebody because prayer changes things. I holler. Be safe.